Alright, folks, so it's day 204 for the year. Still dealing with this cold. I just got my little simple turkey and cheese sandwich this morning. Times two. It's 11:46 a.m. And instead of sitting here explaining to you how sick I am and how I don't feel like doing this today, I figured today would be a good day to share with you some of my past adventures. My past adventures in meditating. One of my most fondest hunts and most recent memories that I had just before the world got turned upside down on its head. It was February of 2020. Everything seemed to be going well. We're entering a brand new year. Everything seemed to be right with the world at that point in time, and we had no idea what was in front of us and what that was going to take away from us. So I thought I'd share that special day with you first. So let's take a look back at a place we used to call, or we still call, the post office site. Hi folks, T-Hawk, we're Backcountry Diggers, and today we're out in the woods. We're down an embankment here. We are just off of a river, which is right over there. Long bridge going across the highway. It's me, Tracy, and my dad. I come across my first gooder. Alright, I suppose you're wondering who I'm talking about in that clip. I suppose you're wondering if that's even me. I look so different now compared to what I did back then that it's not funny. I feel different. I feel like a different person. In that clip, I introduced myself as T-Hawk, and at the time, that was the personality that I entertained on my meditating channel, which is Backcountry Diggers. I will leave a link to that channel down in the description so you can check it out if you want to, but yeah, that's a little background about me. Now, back to the find. See down in that hole right there, got me a coin size object right there. And I see a 1 cent and a shield. It looks like looks like I got me an Indian head. Holy crap. My first Indian head with the XP Death. Yeah, buddy, she's got some dirt on her. She is green underneath. That said, needs some cleaning, like really bad. For those of you who don't know, this is an example of what an Indian head penny looks like. Let's see if I can get a good focus on it. See the Liberty headdress with the feathers, and the one on the left is the tail side. That is like the Indian head scent that I found that day. Now in the same video a few days later, we returned back to that post office site, and my dad, he dug the most astonishing find and the most historical item that linked itself to that specific location. And it was a very awesome find and discovery indeed, and it caused me to have to do a little research on the matter. So before I keep you any longer, here's what it was. That's just one side of the tag, right?
That's one side. The other side says something different. It's WS on this side. And it looks like number maybe an I or a J and a P on the other side.
So Diddy just found this old set of keys, and we're speculating that this old foundation that we were at used to be an old post office. And if that is the case, then this is probably keys that went to that post office. Look at how old these keys are. They're in good shape. They've been in the ground this long, huh?
Yes, they are.
It's even got a tag with the writing on it. We'll have to clean all this up and take them off that chain and show you individually what they all look like later on. But that
is very cool.
Is a screaming cool fan.
Yes. Those look like they were transitioned from the skeleton key, because it almost looks like skeleton key tops there.
Right.
Transition from the skeleton key to what we know now as keys.
Well, you know, skeleton keys went on up until the 1930s.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. That little one's one of my favorites. That's cool, though.
So the research of when these keys first started would be something we need to look into.
I remember living in over there on City View Street, and we had a skeleton key for the front door.
Did you really?
Yeah, it had a square thing on it, and it had little glass door knobs and skeleton key in that thing.
Back in the day, huh?
So I've done some research on these flat keys, and it turns out that Linus Yale Sr. in the 1840s designed the first flat lock keys that went into a new style tumbler of a lock that he invented. Later, in the 1860s, his son Linus Yale Jr. designed the serrated edge flat keys like you see on more modern traditional keys today. All the way back in the 1860s, he designed the technology for a lock tumbler and the type of serrated keys like we use today to go into those type of locks. A lot of the keys that you see on this particular keychain were made by the Eagle Lock Company, which was a competitor of Yale back in those times. The Eagle Lock Company closed its doors in the 1970s. But all of the keys on this chain appear to be post office keys that would have went to locks that would have been used in that post office. Awesome find. It was an awesome find indeed. I mean, we find stuff all the time that is linked or compatible to the era or the area of places that we hunt all the time. Like the age of the home pretty much equals the age of an item, such as these Indian head pennies that I have found and I just showed you. They could be, the type of currency that was in circulation at the time the home site was built. But rarely ever do we find something that is that personal to the location as the actual keys that unlocked mailboxes used in that post office. That was an epic find. But even that, as epic as it was, wasn't the most memorable part of that day. What was really, really cool about that day is it snowed. I hardly ever see snow, and this is the first time I had seen snow in a few years. I don't know if you can see it or not through my camera lens. And I know a lot of people viewing this isn't going to care for what I'm showing you now. If you can see it. Snow is falling here in the back country.
Now, I have not seen a snowflake in 3 years. Literally. So, yeah. Snow in the backcountry. When it snows here, even if it does stick, it never lasts more than a day or two. And it all melts away. So, just beautiful being out here in the woods. On this old home place. And it's snowing in the backcountry. It's snow, so that's what it looks like. I'm catching up with Max. And we're out in a blizzard. Max told me this was snow. I thought it was dandruff falling from the sky. But it's not dandruff, it's actual snow. I have not seen a snowflake in 3 years.
Small flatboat.
Oh, it's got a pattern on it. So he found a flat button. It does have a design on it. Shankless. It's off of a cuff. That's pretty sweet, buddy.
If you've been paying attention to my channel for a little while now, you will have heard me talk about this next guy very fondly. He is a great friend of mine, and once I get over this sickness and everything is right with the world, next Saturday I should be out on a hunt with him, and I am looking forward to it. I have not seen him since February of this year, and he has not laid eyes on me since I dropped all this weight, so it's going to be interesting to see their reactions. But anyway, check out what he found.
Okay, so that is not the Abominable Snowman. That is actually Mike Noble. Yeah, he found a gooder, he says.
Yes, he did.
He gonna drop it on me. Oh, wow, dude.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, man.
And that is a Tootsie Toy.
Oh, that is beautiful, buddy.
Clean
I'm
the
so
outside
jealous.
out, the inside out, and it does say Tootsie Toy in there. It's printed real small.
Wow.
Difficult to see.
You don't have to tell me. I can tell it is.
It's either that or a Midge toy. They're both very similar, but that one's a Tootsie.
Yep, this is definitely a Tootsie. Slightly bigger than the Midge. Slightly. What a cool little truck, dude.
I found that in all this trash. I mean,
I want it.
It's all this. There's all this roofing tin, and it's stuck right in the middle of all that.
Cool, dude.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That is.
And then the snow really started to come down, and I you know, on this old home site, I found a little underground cellar or bunker or some sort of thing. I'm thinking it was a little fruit cellar. At one time, it was made into the side of an embankment, and it was all still left, you know, except for the roof and the walls. But there's enough of it there that you could tell what it was. Check this out. This is really cool.
Okay, folks, so this is an old road bed that goes up to this home site right here. And off to the side of that road bed, here is some kind of cellar or shelter that was built up off of concrete blocks. See that? Those are some older looking cinder block. There's the doors that were on it. Still have their hinges on them. Pretty cool. Yep. Pretty cool. I guess this was some kind of storage cellar, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. We'll look around and see if we find anything. Alright, snow's still coming down. It's starting to stick. We won't have much longer, I don't think. So I'm up here by this fruit cellar or whatever in this thing, whatever this thing is I've discovered. I did find something up next to it. Oh, axe head. Yeah, buddy. Big old heavy axe head. Alright. We'll keep looking. Looks like we're going to have to go soon.
Out of all the days that I've been out there in the woods, spending my time looking for these old home sites and these old historical places, that has to be my absolute favorite hunt that I've ever spent in my entire life. It was just a perfect day. The world was carefree at the time. We're out in the woods, you know, doing our thing in the middle of a snowstorm, of all things, having a good time. We toughed it out as long as we could, and it just got a little too wet and a little too sticky, but we spent a good, I'd say 7 hours on that hunt that day, if I had to guess in my head the amount of time we spent. It was not a very short hunt, but it wasn't one of our longest either. But it was one of the most memorable and enjoyable hunts that I've ever spent in my entire life. And I think the reason it resonates with me so much is it was just before the world got turned upside down on its head. And that hunt represents a lot to me of how things used to be, how perfect things were. At the time of this particular video that I made, I had just hit 1,000 subscribers on that channel, and then in March the world got flipped on its head. So it was shortly after this hunt when the whole world went crazy, and it affected that channel and my ability to get out and hunt. Not just the pandemic itself, but other factors came into play. It's like it was a big crap storm of events just all over the place, and that is a story for another time. And I do not want to ruin this special hunt for you by getting involved in all of that detail right now, but yes, this was one of the more memorable hunts that I had before I had to go off and reinvent myself and discover that I was latchkey. How do I know I'm latchkey? Because my mom gave me that name. That's another story too. Alright folks, I'm going to end it with one last clip from the snow day. And I'm going to tell you right now, until tomorrow, y'all have a good one and enjoy the clip.
Okay, so it is starting to stick a little bit out here. Think we are wrapping it up, heading for the car early today. Quite the shame. Really wanted to stick around here more. We'll come back. So yesterday it snowed here in the back country while we was on our detecting adventure. And today, as you can see by the ground here, you are hard pressed to even find any snow left over on the ground. The roads are completely clear. The yards are completely clear. No snow to be seen. Even in the wooded areas, there is no snow anywhere to be found on the very next day of a snowstorm. Looks like a good day to go detecting to me.